welcome, Julie and Kristie. And if anyone in our audience doesn't know Julie and Kristie, they have been classroom teachers, they've been university professors, educational consultants, and they're internationally known as inclusion experts. So it is an honor for us to have some of their time today and to learn from them. So welcome, Julie and Kristie.
Thank you, Charmaine. Welcome, everyone. Okay, there we are. So I love being on Charmaine's show because she has some of the most powerful advocates around who tune in. And I love to see all the old friends that we know. And we love to, of course, make new friends.
Yeah, we've got folks from Connecticut and South Carolina now too, Julie.
And northern Minnesota.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, this is fun. And Colorado, we got KY is Kentucky, right, Abigail? Yeah, okay. All right, so 3 secrets for creating inclusive schools. Charmaine shared the last 3, and we've got 3 more for you. And the first one, it took me 10 years to figure this out, and I'm not kidding, maybe more, that we have to differentiate our why to overcome resistance. If you're like, what is she talking about? I'm going to just sort of go back and explain something. Oftentimes, when we're trying to say our school should become more inclusive and here's why, and then we kind of, maybe for me, for example, I'm always like, because better outcomes for students with disabilities, better outcomes for students without disabilities, better educational outcomes. And I really just share all the research. And I bring this beautiful binder of research and I'll scroll through it and I'll just be like, look how beautiful this is. And some people do not care. They're just like, yeah, they're just like, you can put your research away because I do not care. And I am stunned by that response because if you read the research, you'd be just like, we're doing it tomorrow and we'll figure a way. Well, I realize that people need many different whys explained to them. And we have to differentiate our why because somebody might not be really that inspired by research, but they might be very inspired by social justice reasons or ethical reasons. Or the law might be the thing that really gets them going, meaning when we just explain to them that actually it's a legal presumption of inclusion, and here's where it's written and here's how we do it, some people will be really excited about it.
Well, Jillian, I think, for this group that's part of Charmaine's crew, personal connections or advocacy is like the only reason they get up and breathe air every day. And so why would someone not be compelled by this cute picture of our little friend that had the tutu the other day, Down Syndrome Day, this little 4-year-old, this power shirt, this totally cute tutu on. And you're like, how could you not be compelled to say inclusion is a right, not a rite of passage? How could you not be like, we'll write our IEPs any way that's necessary to make sure you're included? And especially when it's a personal connection for you or you are an advocate. But those are just 2 of them. And by just, I mean some people aren't moved to change through those stories or through that advocacy or that pressure, but they might be by the research. So that same person that Julie was talking about was like, put your little binder away, may be compelled by your advocacy or by a personal connection. They have a nephew, a neighbor, or maybe a first grader in their building that they know that has a label, and we go, oh, now I see it. But other people are moved by, like Julie said, the research, the law, ethical or social justice reasons. And then Julie and I like to believe that maybe it's just because we all want to belong. That could be compelling.
And that is compelling to some. One of our favorite strategies, just belonging itself, one of our favorite strategies when working with a big team of administrators is asking them to think of a time they felt like they belonged and a time that they felt like they didn't belong. And we ask questions like, how did you feel and how did you behave? That alone, when you actually make it personal for them, you'd be surprised to know that administrators and educators alike will say things like, when I didn't feel like I belonged, I shut down. When I didn't feel like I belonged, I had some really wonky behavior, or I left that setting, right? And all of that really gets to the belonging piece. So when Kristie and I do this work in the world, we're sharing the secret with you all that's like this. We can't continue to approach the why in a singular way. We have to think about the fact that these people haven't changed already. And all of those things have been available for a long, long time.
A long time.
So the question is, why haven't they changed already? And some of us do this. We go, okay, I'm going to double down. I'm going to make more graphs, more charts, more research slides. I'm going to deliver the research in a pretty envelope. I'm going to continue in that one way. I'm going to say it louder. I'm going to say it again and again. But what happens, and somebody said it on here, is that someone said, I've been sharing the research over and over. I'm going to find it, Susan. They said, don't show me any more research because it was overwhelming and insensitive. And so if we keep going in the same way, that person is going to be very resistant. So instead, what do we do, Kristie?
Okay. And so when we talk about differentiating our why, what we're asking you to think about is what will add a catalyst. So what does that mean? Okay, what will give people a sense of agency, something that they connect to? What will make people feel safe? Because sometimes we were talking to a district yesterday and they said, when we hear an educator say, I'm not sure that kid belongs in our school, their heart and stomach just goes, kuh. But they have to go, oh, maybe what that educator is really saying is, I don't know how to reach and teach the student. I don't feel confident that I'm meeting their needs. And I bet somebody else can do it better. Well, we would argue differently. We can shore up your skills. We don't have to send a kid to a separate space or a separate place. But that might be their sense of insecurity or lack of safety, and that we sometimes again provide this differentiated why, meaning the amount that we share, the type that we share. Just when you think about how we differentiate a lesson by content, process, and product, when you differentiate your why, you might do your pacing. I got to slow down. I got to speed up. I got to slow down for you, but speed up for you. I might need to change the grouping. I might need to change what I'm actually sharing. All of those same things we would do instructionally, we do with our why. So the idea is that in the end, by thinking about all of those whys and being thoughtful about, are they a catalyst or are they making a person feel like they need to push against it, I'm actually reducing and removing barriers to change.
Okay, so this is a top secret. And it took me 10 years to understand it because I just kept saying it louder.
Yeah.
And I just kept repeating the research.
Well, Julie, there's so many parallels. Like when a kid struggles, I had a friend from Canada once say, if you have to repeat yourself 100 times, the kid is not the slow learner.
Yes, exactly.
And if I need to repeat that, let me know. And so the idea is that we do pull out, pull over, pull aside. We write an IEP that you'll do it more times or with more support in more places, more of the day. But more isn't always what gets us to the change. All right. So that's a good segue to our IEP. So this is our second tip. You ready, Joel?